All right, guys, I am Sheridan and I am your tax advisor. I have over 15 years of experience in business development and business operations, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the 5071C. This document is the document that the IRS sends you when you have had a fraudulent filing on your account. So a lot of people may have gotten this document. A lot of people may have not gotten this document. May have gotten another document, and we'll go over that document at another time. However, if you have gotten the 5071C, then you, my friend, definitely have had identity theft and fraudulent tax returns filed. So we're going to talk solely on this one. We're going to close out some of these things. And here we're going to talk about the 5071C. So, of course, you see I have everything blocked out, and this is actually a true file from an individual that I'm working with currently. And with this file, you see that it definitely has the IRS logo. Once you see this, it'll say notice, and it'll give you the number of the file, the form that's been sent to you. So this was sent out April 2nd, 2024, and these are from the 2023 filing year. Now, some of you all may have not filed in 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I have some that may have not filed in 10 years. I'm seeing all of it. And you may now just be getting the form. So it may just have an earlier notice date, but it could be from a previous filing year as well. So it'll tell you from which form was filed, the 1040 SR. So this SR is from a senior form. So this identity theft was from a senior individual who may have been over the age of 65. And then, of course, it's for the 2023 tax year. Of course, they'll have your control number on it, and I blocked that out for safeguarding his identity. And then they'll have the IRS.gov website where you can do the verified return. So another thing about the verified return is that they have sent a lot of documents to you all to where they've stated that you have to do the ID me verification. And a lot of people definitely have been upset. Of course, I know you guys have seen the videos on social media where everyone is standing in line for miles and miles and miles, and they're ready to burn the building down because they are turning them around and telling them that they cannot ID me verify them. Yeah, that social media video. So if you wanted to, you could have just simply went online and did ID me verification, but that's another story, another video. We'll get into that one. So of course, you see I blocked out his information. I'll have all of you guys' information that's on here as well. So let's read into it. It says we received a federal income tax return form 1040 series for tax year 2023, filed under your social security number, SSN, or individual tax identification is a ITIN. So if you have an ITIN, that means you are not a natural born citizen here in the United States. And when you file for an ITIN, you have to file that document with the W-2. So if you have someone that is bold enough to steal your I-10, they are very bold, and you should definitely be afraid of that individual. So it goes on to say that if you did file a 2023 tax return, you need to verify your identity and your tax return at IRS.gov verify return. That's talking about the ID me verification. So once you verify your identity, then they will go back and say, hey, did you file this return for this year? And you're like, no, I did not. And they're like, yeah, yes, you did. Somebody filed it. That goes into another situation. We'll get to that as well. So we can't process the return until we hear from you. Sign in, create a new online account. If you're a new user, have your current government issued photo identification ready. Driver's license, state ID, passport card. have the following information ready to answer tax return questions. So let me go back to the driver's license and your identification and your passport. It cannot be expired. The IRS does not allow us to file any type of tax documents or any documents with an expired identification card. We have had to turn many around because they had an expired ID, expired passport, expired visa, and they were like, well, it's just a date. The IRS does not matter. They're going to get on us compliant wise, and we're going to have to just say, hey, we're sorry. You got to go online. I know in the state of Texas, I don't know about wherever else, but state of Texas, you have to make an appointment and it's like 6 months out, right? And you're like, how I can't do this. So you can go online to see if it'll allow you to just do an update for your driver's license if there's no changes. But for the most part, we cannot file with an expired identification card. So it goes on to say that, of course, it has the control number. Your Form 1040 series tax returns shown above, Forms W-2 and 1099, aren't tax returns. A copy of this notice continue to tax return verification questions, which is the ID.me verification. When you create the account on the IRS.gov website, you create this and then you go through the prompts for the ID.me verification. And we'll do a video. I'll probably link that video to this and you guys can see the steps once I can figure out how to blur out all the information, right? Important, you must verify that you did file a 2023 tax return and answer IRS questions about their return. Now, if you hadn't filed the return, you can't answer questions that you hadn't filed, correct? So, doing the ID.me verification, that's what's going to get you verified to verify that you actually filed this return. Now, if you did not file it and someone else filed this and you received this letter, then definitely we got a problem. If you didn't file a 2023 tax return, you may be a victim of identity theft. Report this immediately to irs.gov verify return. You can let us know that you didn't file a tax return. If you were planning to file a return, you will not be able to file electronically and will need to file a paper. So let's talk about that. If you can go through the prompts with the ID.me verification and you can verify that you did not, in fact, file this return and that you are not sure why that return was filed with your identification, you do not know how they got your identification, and that you are for certain that this is not you filing this tax return, go through the prompts of the ID.me verify. Once you go through that, find a tax preparer that is aware of this letter. Once you take this letter to them, take the original W-2s. Once you take the original W-2s, your original identification, that tax preparer can then create a tax return for you. Now, with it, we'll put in an affidavit of identity theft. And once we put that affidavit in, we'll put in some more documents on the inside of it. We'll hand it to you with your social security card, a copy of your social security card, a copy of your driver's license, up to date, non-expired, and well, whatever identification that you have. And then we will say, hey, here's everything in this packet. You need to mail this to the IRS. Once you mail that to the IRS and once you have done your ID.me verification, they're going to then cancel out that return, make you create an IP PIN. An IP PIN is a number that allows you to be identified. Every time you now file a tax return, that individual will have to put that PIN in, and that PIN is assigned to you every year. Every year that PIN is assigned to you. It's mailed to your home, or it's also on your irs.gov account. So you're able to go in under your notices and letters and pull up that notification and find your new PIN that they send out to you every year. They do not give you the same PIN every year because, of course, they don't want this to be stolen or happen to you again. So once you complete that, that tax preparer will give everything to you and you mail that off to the IRS. Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to happen and be fixed overnight because it will not. What will happen is that the IRS will then mail you back another letter, and that letter will state what has happened, what they have found, and it can take up to 6 weeks to 6 months. I've seen a year. It just depends on the circumstances that has occurred. So, we have to determine what's going on based off of what we find throughout the verification. And once we finish the preparation of your tax return, sending it back to the IRS. So, if you receive the 5071C and you just have no clue on what to do, or if you received a document similar to this, I have to get the numbers, then definitely, if you want myself, or if you're looking or able to find another tax preparer to help you out with this, definitely get someone to help you correct this and fix this before it gets out of hand, because that individual who stole your information, and if nothing was done and you do not get your ID verification or your IP pin, you're going to have the same situation happen to the following tax year. So hopefully I explained this good enough. Hopefully, if you do have this letter, you can send me a message and say, hey, what do I need to do again? Or, hey, I need some help. Can you help me out? Definitely I can help you out, and we can see how we can get this fixed for you.